Has this ever happened to you? You finish washing your car, you get your microfiber towel and you start drying it, only to find that you get nothing but streaks and smears left behind? Well, that's most likely due to the fact that your paint has no protection. So today we're gonna show you guys a quick and easy way on how to protect your car and cut your drying time in half. Let's get started. All right guys, so before we actually begin protecting the surface, the first thing that we have to do is prep the surface. So we're gonna remove the clay bar from the packaging here. Today we're gonna be using our medium duty clay bar. I'm gonna take off the plastic sheets and I'm just gonna cut myself a small chunk of the clay bar from the whole block. All right, so now that you have a small chunk, simply knead it around into a small little patty that you can grab with your forefingers. So now we're gonna grab our clay Luber and we're gonna spray some onto the surface for added lubrication here. And then we're gonna spray some onto the clay bar and then we're gently gonna glide the clay bar left and right. Now, this is a key component thing that you should do before applying any kind of protection, because this clay bar is decontaminating the paint. That way, whenever we apply our protectant, it'll actually bond and adhere properly, as opposed to it just bonding to the layer of contamination onto your paintwork. So if you guys have ever been wondering, if you guys, if you ever apply a wax and you notice that your wax or your ceramic or your sealant isn't lasting very long, it's most likely because the surface wasn't prepped properly. So we're just gonna knock out that step, clay bar the paint, and then I'll be right back with you guys to show you guys the next thing to do. All right guys, so I just finished clay barring the hood, and just because we've already washed the car and the car's still outside and it's still wet, I'm just gonna rinse this off and then dry it so I can show you guys how to apply the protection. All right guys, so I just finished rinsing off the clay Luber. Now I'm gonna attempt to dry the hood. Now, I'm gonna show you guys once again, dry microfiber towel. The hood is actually decontaminated with the clay bar, but as you can see, if I wipe my towel through it, all you're gonna get is streaks and smears. Now, the reason for this is because there's no protection on the paint, so your paint is exposed right now, and just imagine all the other stuff that's gonna wanna stick to your paint, like dirt, grime, these harsh UV rays, they're gonna be beating down on your paintwork. Because over time, that's actually gonna create oxidation. It's gonna lead to paint failure. So, whenever you see cars out on the road and they have like that flaking clear coat, that's what you're gonna expect by not having protected paintwork. But last but not least, the main reason that we're making this video today is to show you guys how you can cut your drying time in half, because as you can imagine, I just wiped this whole hood and come check this out. You can see there's all kinds of streaks, all kinds of smears. Just imagine you're trying to dry your car. This is probably like the last thing that you want to do, because drying the car is one of the most pain in the butt things to do whenever it comes to washing your car. But as you can see, when you have no protection, it just makes your life even harder when it comes to washing your car, and who wants that? So right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attempt to finish drying the rest of the hood, and then I'm gonna show you guys what a protected side looks like and how it dries whenever you have actual protection on your paintwork. All right guys, so we just finished masking off this side of the hood. Now we're gonna start applying the protection. Now today we're gonna be applying HydroSlick ceramic coating HyperWax. Now this is a very easy to use, user-friendly ceramic coating in a gel form that applies like a wax. So don't be scared of the term HyperWax. It's just a fancy way of saying wax to the next level. So to apply it, all you need to do is obviously clean the surface and prep the surface. We've already cleaned it, we washed it, and we clayed it to decontaminate it. Now, normally I would not recommend doing this out in direct sunlight, but hey, you know what? These are real customers, real results we're showing you guys here. Not all the time we're gonna be inside, indoors, in the garage shooting at our luxury. So we're gonna apply a couple drops of HydroSlick onto our applicator here. And the cool thing about HydroSlick is that it's more of like a gel texture. So you'll see right now, as I start setting it down, you'll see these little clumps. All you have to do now is just basically apply some pressure on the applicator, and it'll literally melt those little gel blobs down, that way making it easier for you to thoroughly apply it and to remove it as well. And whenever it comes to applying a ceramic coating like HydroSlick, we always recommend applying a crosshatch motion in a 2x2 section. So you can see right here, I'm not applying it to the whole hood. I'm only applying it to the areas that I need it at right now, because the last thing that we want to do is apply it to the whole hood and then try to wipe it off. By that point in time, it'll already start hardening, because this is a ceramic coating. So the last thing that you want to do is let that sit on the surface for too long. So after about 30 seconds up to 2 minutes, since we're outside in direct sunlight, I'm literally going to give it as little as 20 seconds before I start wiping it off with a premium microfiber towel. So we're just going to go ahead and start wiping it off, and you can see instantly it starts wiping off very easily, very quickly. And that's one of the biggest things. Oh, you can actually feel it becomes even way slicker than this side over here that hasn't been treated yet. So that protection, that's what's gonna reduce the amount of water that sticks to your vehicle. It's gonna enhance your shine, and like I said, it's gonna cut your drying time in half. So right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish coating the rest of the hood. I don't really have too much, left, but I'm gonna finish this up, and then I'm gonna show you guys the water beading test. Now, before we get into the water beading test, you can actually see a visual difference between the left and the right side. This side is the side that we've already treated with our HydroSlick ceramic coating. You can see it enhances depth, shine, clarity. You can also tell that this paint has a beautiful metallic sparkle to it, versus this side, which, it's not that bad looking, but it's also not the greatest. The paint's there, the shine's there, but if you compare both sides, this side looks much better. The cool thing is you can actually see a visual representation of what HydroSlick can do to your paint. You can see on this side, it has much more depth, more clarity, more shine, and you can actually see that glimmer and that metallic flake in the paintwork. All right, guys, now we're gonna rinse off the hood so you guys can see what the coated side looks like versus the uncoated side. That looks sick. Alrighty guys, as you can see, the right side that we treated with HydroSlick has tons of beading action, and you can actually see that the water does not want to stick to the surface. It's actually being repelled, and that's why it's beading up. Versus the left side over here, the water wants to stick to the paint. That's why it almost looks like there's nothing on there, but just actually know there's water there. It's drenched in water. And now I'm going to show you guys a visual representation of what drying your car looks like with a coating versus without one. So I'll use a dry microfiber towel right here, and I'll do this side first. I'll grab the towel, and I'm using the same towel just to kind of keep this test consistent. We're going to wipe straight down. Check it out. It leaves a beautiful non-streaky finish versus this side over here. And I'll use the other side, or if you guys want, I'll do you one even better. Fresh towel, and I'll even use the other side of this towel to test on the other side. We'll put it down, we'll wipe, check out all those streaks. And then I'm going to use the fully dry towel and do another test with a fully dry towel. That way you guys can say that towel is already wet. I'll wipe. You have streaks right there. All right, guys, and there you guys have it. As you can see, with just a little bit of HydroSlick ceramic coating HyperWax, you can transform the look of your paint, the shine, the clarity, that beautiful metallic sparkle. But not only that, you also cut your drying time in half. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give us a huge like, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and if you guys want to pick up any of the products that we showcased on today's video, they're all going to be linked in the description and pinned comment down below. As always, my name is Joey. This is 𝘃𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗍, guys. We'll see you next time. Jerry, what are you doing here?